Now we've had just a brief look at some of the easy ways to fix Windows 7, and these are all detailed at much more length in the book. I want to spend the rest of this time looking at more advanced ways to fix it, and in part 2 here we'll look at advanced fixes, and then in part 3 we'll look at yet more advanced things that we can do. So startup repair is extremely useful. If your computer fails to start 3 times, then startup repair will automatically appear, assuming that the folder on your hard drive containing startup repair itself hasn't become corrupt or those files haven't become damaged. So you can also run startup repair from the Windows boot menu. If you press the F8 key on your keyboard, you'll need to press this between the BIOS screen and the Windows logo. You've got a very small window there to, if you'll excuse the pun, to press the F8 key, and you'll see a repair your computer option there for being able to launch startup repair. But again, remember, if the files for startup repair that are on your hard drive have become corrupt, then you won't be able to launch it from your hard drive. So this is where the system repair disk comes in handy. You can create your system repair disk in the backup and restore panel in the control panel, or it's also in the start menu. Type backup into the search box in the start menu, and you can create a system repair disk. Now, a thing to take note of with the system repair disk is that if you have a 64-bit copy of Windows 7 installed and you create a system repair disk, that system repair disk can only be used to repair 64-bit copies of Windows 7. It can be used to repair any 64-bit copy of Windows 7, but only 64-bit copies. Same if you want to start a repair disk for 32-bit Windows, you need to create that disk using a 32-bit copy of Windows. Finally, you can access the startup repair options from your Windows 7 installation DVD. When you click through the first screen where it asks you about your country and your language, just click through that, and at the next screen you'll have a big button in the middle of the screen, do you want to install Windows? And if you look in the bottom left hand corner, there'll be an option there called repair your computer, and that will take you through to startup repair options. So there are a great many options in here. You can see here we've got the automatic startup repair. We have system restore, that's there. System image recovery, which you can use to restore a complete copy of Windows 7 from a backup image if you've created one in Windows 7. There's a memory diagnostic there, which you can run, and there's the command prompt. Now, you'll see here I've got a link to my YouTube videos. If you have a look on there after this webcast, then there's a full video on how to use the startup repair options, and also there's an short instructional video on how you can actually repair the Windows 7 boot files if they become corrupt from this command prompt in startup repair. There are a few commands that you need to type, but you can completely rebuild the boot files themselves in Windows 7 using that command prompt. Now I want to talk about the system file checker. Now the system file checker I think is fantastic. It's one of the best things in Windows as far as I'm concerned. So what it does is you need your installation DVD for this. You must have your installation DVD on in your optical drive in your computer, and it checks all of the files that you've got that constitute Windows, that make up Windows on your hard drive, and it compares each one of those files with the original file of the installation DVD. If it finds any that have changed or that have become corrupt, then it will copy the original file back from the DVD onto your hard drive and replace the one on your hard drive. It's a wonderful thing. You run it from the command prompt, and when you can access the command prompt in the start menu, type the word command or CMD into the search box in the start menu to get to it quickly. You'll need to run it as an administrator so that it has the rights and privileges that it needs in order to write Windows files to the disk. It's in every version of Windows 7. Once you're in that command prompt, you type this command here, sfc, then a space, then a / and the word scan now. That's one word. And the system file checker will then automatically run and compare these files. Now, many of you will now have Service Pack 1 installed, and the one problem with System File Checker is that you must have the latest, whatever Service Pack you have installed on your copy of Windows, be that Service Pack 1 or Service Pack 2, must also be integrated into that installation DVD. The reason being that the core operating system files change when you have a service pack, and the System File Checker will compare the files that you've got on your hard drive with what will essentially be an outdated and an older version of those files on the installation DVD. So you need to make sure that you can integrate the service pack into the DVD. Now, there are several ways to do this. If you have a look on my website, I've recently written some articles on how to do this. There's software that you can get free to download that will do this for you, and there's more you can do as well. There's other tutorials there on how you can create, for instance, a USB pen drive with every single version of Windows on it, every single edition, and the 32 and 64-bit ones. So there's a series of tutorials there, but there's one where all the information you need about integrating a service pack into your Windows 7 DVD is there. And again, on YouTube, I've got a video on how to use the System File Checker. So, next, let's talk about Internet Explorer. Now, Internet Explorer can cause all sorts of problems. Normally, the best and only way to repair Internet Explorer if something goes wrong with it, and I'm willing to bet that many of you will have done this or advised somebody else to do it, or will know of somebody else who's done it at some point over the years. The best way to fix a problem with Internet Explorer is to stop using it and download and install another browser, such as Firefox or Google Chrome. But you don't have to, especially with Internet Explorer 9. But this is in Internet Explorer 8 as well. If you go into the Internet options, which is available from, you'll see the little cog wheel button. Go into the Internet options, and on the Advanced tab there, you can press the Reset button, which you can see highlighted here, to reset Internet Explorer to all of its default settings. Now, the important thing to note here is that you won't lose all your internet favorites. You could lose your logins for some websites, but the important thing, your internet favorites, they will be safe because they're stored separately in your user folder. They're not integrated into the Internet Explorer files themselves. And this is a really good way of being able to get Internet Explorer working again if it fails to operate. And there's also the Safe Boot diagnostic mode. Now, you will probably be familiar with safe mode. If Windows won't start, then it will probably say it wants to start up in safe mode. And safe mode is a reduced functionality mode. But the Safe Boot diagnostic mode offers you even more. Now, you run this from the msconfig panel. So if you type msconfig into the search box in the start menu, then you'll bring this up. And under the boot tab, you'll see a tick box there for doing a safe boot. Now, the difference between a safe boot and a safe mode is that safe mode will limit you to a maximum screen resolution. It'll run with your the absolute bare minimum video driver. In fact, the absolute bare minimum driver for everything. And there's really not a lot you can do in safe mode. But safe boot will allow you to use your full screen resolution. It will allow you to use all of your hardware, but it will just limit any damage that can be done by things like faulty drivers, and it won't load any software that runs automatically at Windows Startup. And it's a wonderful alternative to safe boot. You just need to remember that when you want to stop using safe boot, you have to go back into the msconfig panel and untick it in order to get Windows to then reboot in its normal mode.